Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk about my last horn project for the season. I'm going to squeeze in one more before I take a break because this one's pretty awesome. Um, give you guys just a kind of a quick backstory here. So um, as you guys can see, we have some green painted bells here. And as you can also kind of tell, it's somewhat of a K5HL. Been looking for a Heritage 2 painted early K5HL for a really long time. Finally found one. This one has a little issue though. So the guy that I had bought it from, when he was buying it from the guy that he was buying it from, it had a mishap during shipping. The guy that he bought it from did not do a very good job at packing, and the box ended up getting a rip in one side, and the 4-bell disappeared during shipping. Couldn't track it down, couldn't find it, so sadly, it is not a full K5HL. It's almost a full K5HL. We're just missing the original 4. That really sucks, but I'm still going to make this a really awesome horn. I'm going to try and keep it as original as I can, pretty much other than the 4-bell. And my plan for that, I got two plans. I'm going to try the first one. If it doesn't work out, and we'll just kind of do my second plan. So my first plan is here. I have a correct era Heritage 2 painted. That's not really showing up too well. It's kind of dark. There you go. You guys can kind of see the green tint there. So I have a 4A. That's era correct for this horn. Same paint and all that. But as you guys remember, if you refer back to my excuse me, my 4-bell video that I just did, this is a 40K era 4A, so it's a mid-bore, so it's not as deep, or it's deeper, a little bit deeper than the half-step standard 4 that would normally have been on this. So plan A, I'm going to clean these up, and then I'm going to try this 4A on there. If it sounds like junk, then plan B, and this is one that I actually used in the video. This is a 4-bell that I bought from the guy when I bought this horn. Also bought a 2-bell, all 40K era bells. So this is a era correct standard 4. Has the half step bore. The only difference is this came off of something that was came off of an early K5HL that was painted black. So that will be plan B. So if I'm not happy with how this 4A sounds on this horn, then we will put this one on there. Still a BNSF original part. It's just black and not green. But I do have a green back cap that I can throw on there, so that way the horn can be mostly green. So I don't know if I do have a connection for paint for this, so I might, if it bothers me enough, if I have to use this one, I might ship this horn to a different paint contact that I have, and have him do a legit all brand new H2 green on it. We'll see how much that's going to cost. But so that's our plans for that. So I haven't, these bells have not been opened up yet. I loosened all the bolts, that way I can get them off by hand, but I have not opened up any of the back caps yet, so that's another part of this video that we're going to get into here. Just kind of doing the internal reveal. See what I'm dealing with here. See if there's any issues. I already know there's an issue in the 3 because when I was moving it around, I could hear loose pieces of broken diaphragm moving around there. So I already know we're going to find something in this one. Haven't heard anything loose knocking around in the rest of these bells, so we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So we'll kind of get these upright. And before we get into this, show you the tag. So it's 43K, 43358. It's kind of a little bit earlier in the 40K series. See, we've got some nice green on the manifold there. We'll try and clean up inside the webbing here and see how the paint's looking. Like I said, if I can swing it, I most likely will ship this to actually a locomotive shop that I used to help service. Used to move power around for them. I know a handful of good guys there, and they do a lot of BNSF repairs, and they still have quite a bit of the Heritage 2 green in their paint stock. So, like I said, if it comes down to it, I'll just fork out the money and have this whole horn repainted in shop with brand new H2 green. We'll, like I said, I'll just have to see how things go. So we will start with the 1L. Nice 2-piece 1L. Lighting's kind of sucking up here, so we'll just kind of get these bolts off. Like I said, I have not opened these yet. I have just loosened the bolts to where I could get them off with my fingers, because it's a little harder to do this with a wrench in one hand. Some of them are still a little snug. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I kind of put everything back in order here. My OCD is going to kick in this project, and we will make sure everything goes back together exactly how it was, unless if I need to replace diaphragms, which I already know I'm probably going to have to replace something in this one. So let's pull that off. Diaphragms came out. Inside of the back cap doesn't look too bad. Looks like we almost have like a little heat discoloration right there. That's kind of weird. Unless if it's some other substance, but a little rainbow color there. Not too bad. Back diaphragm looks pretty good. Front diaphragm definitely has that exhaust soot on it. Looks like it might have a little bit of warping, not too bad. We'll clean all those up and see. Brand new on the inside, so that's never been taken apart and serviced since it was put together, so that's cool. And we'll see if we can kind of get this more into the light there. So there's our first look at the 1L nozzle. Everything looks pretty good. Definitely some soot buildup in there. That's not too bad. Doesn't look like too much corrosion. A little bit of corrosion, but not too crazy. Later on I'll have to take off the diffuser ring and see what's going on. Looks like there's a crack in the diffuser ring. That's not a big deal. Just as long as it goes back on there, right? That's all that matters. I have had to remake some of these ones, and focus. And the nice thing is I just took an original, a regular sized diffuser ring, and I just had to drill out the bolt holes to accept the bigger bolts. But yeah, so there's what the 1L looks like. Not too bad, really. Nozzle doesn't look like it has a bunch of wear on it, so that's nice. So there's our first look at the 1L, and we'll see if we can get some of that green color for you guys here. There you go. Put that back together a little bit here. Back of the back cap's pretty nice. A little bit of paint chip right on the bubble. And we'll just kind of put those back here. Sorry for the horrible camera work. Just kind of set those back in there for now. We'll set that off to the side. And check out the 1Bell next. So here's the 1Bell. It's Era Correct 40K. It's an unmarked one. You guys can see there's no sign of the letter 1 casted on there, which is how it should be. Dark green paint. Definitely still some soot going on there. Sorry for the lighting, it's really poor because these bells I can't fit underneath my light there. Alright, see what the inside of the 1 looks like here. Okay, so diaphragms came off in the back cap. Not too bad. Doesn't look like it's warped. We'll see if we can kind of knock those out maybe. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that one-handed. We'll just have to come back to that one. I'll have to really kind of pound that one to get those diaphragms out. I know it's kind of loud and I don't want to blow. If you guys are headphone users, I don't want to. We're starting to get it. See if I got enough to grab onto here. She's in there. There we go. Alright, so our diaphragm sandwich stays together pretty good. Looks like we might have a little bit of warp to it, nothing too bad. Some nice soot on there. Side of that, definitely have some staining from water there. Soot going on there. And when I do clean this stuff up, I'm not going to get too crazy with worrying about getting all the staining out, because like I've said in past videos, I have horns where I have done all the work to get all the staining out, and it just takes a lot of time and the staining doesn't really bother anything. So as long as I can get her cleaned up, pretty good. There's our look at the nozzle. Some light corrosion on it, which almost kind of makes me wonder if the diaphragm wasn't making very good contact, because there's not. You guys can see, yeah, I guess you can see the corrosion spots where it was sitting. So it's making contact, just definitely enough to where a lot of moisture could get in there. We'll clean that up really well. As far as nozzle wear, it looks like we're still up pretty high from the base of the bore, so not too bad wear. If you guys remember from my the last early K5HL that I restored, we had a lot of nozzle wear. It was really bad on a couple of the bells. So this one looks like it's in really good condition. Just a lot of some corrosion that we'll have to clean up. Make sure there's no loose particles in there. Clean up all the corrosion that I can. It's not too bad. See if we can just kind of set that back in there. A little tight now that it's out, so not too worried about that. All this will be coming apart and getting a good cleaning. So. Alright, we'll set that off to the side. And we will check out the two bell. You guys see the back cap is angled like it should have been. Marked 2. See what we get here. All right. See what we got here. Back caps, or the diaphragm stayed in the back caps. Some soot, some discoloration from some moisture there. Oh, good. So the front diaphragm came right out, pretty easy. Cushion ring is in really good shape. Insides of the diaphragms haven't been flipped. So this horn has had no maintenance since it was put together, which I like. Because then I know nothing's been tampered with too much. Definitely got some staining in the back cap. A little bit of corrosion spots here and there, nothing too crazy. And then got some dirt in there. About the same thing, some corrosion on the nozzle ring. We'll have to clean all that off really good. Don't see any excessive wear, which is super nice. That means once this is all put back together, cleaned up, put back together, it should sound pretty damn clear, so that's good. Nothing too off. So that's pretty nice. So you got that nice green paint on it, and you can see the orientation that it was on the manifold. The side of the bell, this side of the bell is painted pretty good. The bottom, the side that was on the bottom, didn't get too much paint, so we can tell from just that it was in a normal arrangement. A lot of crud built up on there. So we'll just kind of set all that back together. Not too worried about the cap being on right now because everything's going to get completely taken apart. We'll lay everything out real nice and then start the cleaning process. So now to the 3, which I know has an issue. if you guys can hear that. It's like I have a number 3 maraca. So we definitely have something broke. I know it's not the front diaphragm because I looked down in there with the flashlight. I didn't see anything broken off of that, unless if it's on the outer, I guess. Normally if the front ones break, you can see it from down the throat. So we'll see what kind of fun stuff awaits us in this one. It sucks that I don't have the original 4-bell, but I'm not too worried about that. This will still be a really awesome sounding horn after it's all said and done. Oh yeah, right off the bat. So I guess we'll start in the back cap. You guys can see the loose pieces vibrating around in there have wore away the cushion ring, which I've shown in the past on my channel, and I've seen in the past a few times where the broken shards will get in between the diaphragms, and with the vibration that is occurring, they will just start to wear away the cushion ring, which is pretty crazy. That probably takes quite a while for that to happen, so I'm sure this has been broken for a long time. Pretty broken, and I think for some reason it seems like the 3 bells on the early K5HLs always have a broken diaphragm. I've seen front broken diaphragms, I've seen rear broken diaphragms, and they've all been in the 3. So I don't know what it is about the 3 bell. Here's some of our shards. Even quite a few little teeny pieces there. And the front diaphragm definitely has an issue. Since there wasn't any back pressure, you guys can see how warped that is. That diaphragm was getting pulled back really hard. I'm really surprised this diaphragm didn't break over time. And the warping is extremely apparent on this one. You guys can really see that was getting sucked back really bad. Here's the nozzle, and with how much corrosion is on the nozzle, I'm guessing that diaphragm wasn't even making contact, or it wasn't making full contact with how much moisture got in there, because that's actually pretty thick stuff right there. So that had pulled that back enough to where the diaphragm wasn't even making contact with the nozzle, or if it was making very little contact. Definitely a lot more crud from the air system in this one, right along where the inlet comes up and dumps into the power chamber. So that one will need some cleaning, definitely. Although the nozzle doesn't really have much wear on it, which is nice. You guys remember that 1.3 that I had on that last early K5HL that I did? Had a significant amount of wear on the nozzle. Like, it was almost, the nozzle ring was almost down to the bore. So this one's in, other than the corrosion, it's in really good condition. That'll clean up, sound really good. Gets definitely new diaphragms for sure, new cushion ring. See if I can pull that off in there. You guys can even see the line. That's not a brake line. It does, yeah, that's not a brake line, that's just the line of where the cushion ring had gotten wore down. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty thin right there. That probably took a while for that to happen. See if we can get the back diaphragm out. Find any more pieces. Oh yeah, there's a bunch more pieces. A bunch. I think this is the most pieces I've had from a broken diaphragm. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 broken pieces. Almost 10. That would have been number 10 right there. That was about to come out. So yeah, that's junk. Pretty crazy looking though. A little sharp, not too bad. And we were definitely getting some carving into the back of the back cap from the stress being put on the broken part of the diaphragm. You can see where the existing bits of the diaphragm stayed, where they started to, when it would blow, it'd bend down and vibrate up against the back and leave that line. It's actually cleaner where the hole was than where the diaphragm was actually covering. And that, so you guys can see that piece that's, you know, bent. You guys can kind of see it on my thumbnail there where it's bent down. That's what started to carve that a little deeper. It's basically like a puzzle. You guys can see just the stress that some of this stuff is put under. So as it's sitting there, it's not touching. I have to push it down that much. So as it's blowing, it's being drawn in that much by the force of the air. So I mean, this broken diaphragms really show you just the amount of force that's going on inside a single bell. Other than that one part that's broken down, it's really not bent as bad as the front. But this is also another way you can just see the force. This diaphragm was completely bent away from the nozzle ring. So I'm guessing this bell was not sounding at all. And it looks like it was probably not sounding for quite a while. Well, we might have actually found our number 10 piece there. There was a piece that didn't fall out. So yeah, there's an even smaller shard. Jeez, that's a lot of pieces. I think that's definitely the most pieces. I think before that I've had like 3 or 4, but that's like 10 pieces right there, so it's pretty crazy. So yeah, guys, so got some work ahead of us on this. I will be doing this before I take my break for the winter. I'm being blessed with some nice weather right now. Pretty late in the year, so I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to try and get this cleaned up fairly quickly and test it while the temperatures aren't super cold. So you guys will be seeing probably some more updates on this pretty soon. Really soon. Probably might even do another video later tonight. See how much I get done on this today. But yeah, so we got our first Heritage 2 green early K5HL with a missing 4-bell. So no matter what, it's gonna sound great after it's done. I'm gonna make sure to do all the hard work and get this sounding really well. Base of the manifold looks not too bad. You guys probably can't see down in there. It's a little sooty in there, a little dirty just from the air system, the crap that builds up in the air system and gets through. Something that some people don't realize is the horns are piped straight out of the main reservoir tanks. There's no filter. Basically, the line comes from main reservoir lines, goes up through either the gram white, or if it's got a solenoid, goes straight up through there and then straight up to the horn. There's no filtering system on these, so that's why horns really don't get a lot of love over the years. They're right clear on top of the locomotive, so they get every bit of weather. They get soot from the exhausts because they're placed close to the exhausts. They get extreme heat, extreme cold, which can also, if there's any sort of a metallurgy flaw in the diaphragms themselves, that's how some of this can happen, just from extreme heat, extreme cold, back and forth, the pressures that these go through, and if there's any sort of a flaw, it'll find its way and break the diaphragm. So yeah, so we got a nice little last minute project. This has actually been a horn that I've been working on purchasing for quite a while now. Took me a long time, but we finally got it. So we'll see what we can do. See what is going to happen with the 4A idea here. We'll see how this one sounds. See how the mid-bore 4A sounds. If it sounds too off, or if it just sounds like crap altogether. Like I said, we will go to this, which is still a era correct 40K standard 4-bell with the half-step bore. Well, I think if I do end up using this one, I will probably just ship the horn out and have it repainted. But if I can use this one, then I won't have to repaint it. So, but if I do repaint it, I'm going to have legit BNSF Heritage 2 paint put on it, so that way we keep the history. I cannot remember offhand the locomotive number this came off of. I think it's 7697 or 6797, one of those two. I'll get back with you guys on that one. I can't really remember offhand, but really cool horn. Super excited to get this one. Like I said, I've been after a green one for a really long time. Sucks that we don't have the original 4-bell, but as you know, I worked past that stuff. It's not really a game ender for me. So stay tuned on some updates on this. Like I said, I might even have another update tonight. We'll see what I get done today.